promotional studio in the outskirts of Los Angeles, this is the Mindless Horror Podcast. And here are your hosts, Anthony and George Zaragoza.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Mindless Horror Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything horror. I'm your host, Anthony.
I'm George.
And we are back with some more horror news this week. First and foremost, we're going to start the show like we do every week with our shout-outs. But we only have one shout-out, and that's you, the audience, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So, on to our first topic. We're going to do a little Oscars recap. First and foremost, before we even start the podcast, it feels good to be back. Just the two of us again, you know that?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've liked every guest we've had the last 2 weeks, but I don't know, for just some reason I just like the fact that we just got to record audio now. So
yeah, it's a lot less work.
Yeah. So like I said, first topic, we're going to talk about the Oscars. Dude, horror took it this year.
Yeah, Jordan Peele won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for Get Out. That was awesome.
That was awesome. And then Shape of Water won 4 Oscars: Best Production Design, Best Original Score, Best Director Guillermo del Toro, and Best Picture. So it took home Best Picture. So that's awesome. I'm just really glad that we're starting to see more horror get into the Oscars, and that really makes me happy that all those, all the work that they've done. And if you think about it in a way, Get Out winning Best Original Screenplay, that's almost like winning. That's like secondary to winning Best Picture, because that's like basically telling you did a good job writing this movie and everything. So I'm just glad that at least Jordan Peele got at least one Oscar, because that movie was such a good movie, Get Out, and I'm so glad that he at least got something for it. I know for Best Picture I was either between Get Out or Shape of Water. I didn't, I really took either one that would have won. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll see for next year. I mean, I would hope that maybe A Quiet Place gets nominated if it's. I've been hearing a lot of good reviews on that one lately. Yeah. So that'd be cool if that got nominated. So yeah, that was a little Oscar recap. There's not much into the horror we can talk about with that other than those 2 movies. But moving on, we're going to talk about our next topic. South by Southwest just happened this past weekend, or
I think it's still going on.
For us, it's still going. As this recording, it's still going on. But they had a couple of major announcements at South by Southwest, which was first and foremost, they did a screening of A Quiet Place, and I heard it was just a lot of people were saying it was really good and stuff.
Yeah.
Watching the trailers, I certainly can't wait to see this movie. This is going to be a really good movie, I think.
Yeah, I've been following this. We've been following this since like the first trailer dropped.
Yeah, so I guess they did a screening of that, and like the audience reacted well to it, and they said it's good, and they said a lot of stuff about John Krasinski's character in here that like he's more than what you think in the trailers,
Yeah, I was reading too because John Krasinski wrote this. He's I think a lady who saw it, she said now whenever I see John Krasinski, I expect him to scare me all the time, because like that's how good he was in there. Yeah,
I mean that's always good when you hear like reviews like that too, because like it tells you that he did a good job writing this. I think this was one of his first original movies he wrote, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, I know he's been trying to do acting outside of. A lot of people mostly know him now just for The Office. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's his most iconic character. But I do like seeing him go outside and above and beyond of The Office. And when he did what was that movie he was in when he was a soldier? Story of
13 Hours.
13 Hours. With the Benghazi soldiers. That was a really good movie, and I thought he did a fantastic job in that. And when he came out and said he was writing and directing his own horror movie and starring in it with his wife, I just thought that was an amazing idea. And then I finally saw footage of it, and it just looks phenomenal. So I cannot wait for that. Another thing that happened at South by Southwest was Blumhouse had a panel, and I guess they were just talking about past projects, and then they out of nowhere just announced that they made an Unfriended 2. Kind of kept it.
Yeah, I don't think the first one. What was Unfriended the
one where they were with a Skype chat.
I think that was.
With the girl from Fear Walking Dead?
No, I think that was something else.
And the friend or like the demon came back to haunt each one of them and kill them off one by one. And it was basically saying that like I guess the main girl in there, she had like all these friends. She was like super popular and stuff, and like basically goes to show what social media can do to a person. It's kind of like the message of the movie. But yeah, I mean, if I recall, that one's the one where they are all on Skype chat and then
they are. I thought it because there's another
one where
it's like Facebook or some shit.
Yeah, I know which one. I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the name though. But
yeah, I'll look it up right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a sequel. I don't know how you can really top it off for an Unfriended 2. I mean, with the first one, it had a purpose of they filmed this girl. I think she was drunk, so she like puked everywhere and shit herself, and she was on the floor passed out. And then you go do a second movie where it's like, okay, well, what's the premise behind this? Is it going to be the same thing where they film someone and something and they committed suicide and then their demon or ghost haunts them and kills them off one by one? I don't know how they can do that, but yeah, a lot of good stuff came out of South by Southwest. I mean, I know on top of that, Blumhouse just had a panel. I don't know if they talked about anything Halloween. Do you remember the chick who was a badass in Purge election year? She was like, they called her something like she was like the mama or something like that, or she drove around in that Purge like paramedics van and she helped out people. She was kind of like a major character in election year.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember election year that much.
Yeah, well, a lot of she was there. She was sitting next to Jason Blum, and Jason Blum tweeted out a picture saying how many Blumhouse movies can you say that she was in. I think she might have been in Get Out. I think she was like the grandmother.
Oh.
I think that might have been the same girl, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, I guess South by Southwest was a hell of a show. I mean, from what I've been reading, it looked cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. Bad acting time. This week I chose a movie that is part of a franchise of movies that everyone knows and loves. Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Manhattan. There's a scene where Jason walks by the muggers, and they're out on Times Square just listening to music, but he walks by and kicks their radio and kind of destroys it. And the muggers, their initial reaction and their response is just, it's horrible. So here's this week's bad acting.
Living in the city ain't no big deal. Living in the city ain't no big deal. You gotta have a heart made of U.S. steel. If the crack don't get you, then the hookers will.
You a dead meat slime bag. Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
So that's this week's bad horror movie acting. I thought that for them trying to be tough guys that they can't act.
Yeah.
So that's this week's bad horror movie acting. Moving on, we're gonna go to our next topic. So this was, speaking of the Oscars again. This was a pretty cool thing. This year was the 90th Oscar, so they were kind of doing a celebration of over the 90 years of history of the Oscars and stuff. And one of the ads they did announcing, I didn't find out it was for the Oscar Museum until like the day after, but I guess one of the ads they did was for the Overlook Hotel. Now I kind of found that interesting because, you know, The Shining was made in like the 1980s. And for them to do an advertisement for this hotel, I was like, okay, this can mean one of two things. They're just kind of honoring The Shining for the 90 years of the Oscars, or they're going to do an event of some sort involving The Shining. And so it turns out that the Oscar Museum, which is not open yet, or at least this exhibit's not open yet, they are going to do a Shining kind of exhibit showing you, I think, a lot of the famous sets and stuff like that. But if you really watch that ad, I mean, it's a really cool ad because there's a ton of Easter eggs in there from the movie, going from the famous Hedgehog maze to the, you know, all the different people working around. Like, you see a lot of like famous Easter eggs. Like, there's one Easter egg where they show the maid coming out of a room and she has the twins' dresses. I thought that was cool. There's one scene where you see another maid cleaning up blood right in front of an elevator. That was pretty funny. There was one major one too that like I caught, and I thought that was cool. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, this gonna be honest, pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I know they had like a number at the end of the commercial, and I tried calling it, and at least I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I typed in the right number. But nothing happened for me, and I guess it was either like or they just didn't set a call up for it, so that kind of bummed me out. But Yeah, after like that, I didn't see anything else. Like, I was gonna go on the website that they had on there, but
Yeah.
I completely forgot. But yeah, I thought it was a cool trailer.
Well, since you said you tried calling, Bloody Disgusting actually put up the number. Let's try calling it right here on the podcast and see what happens. So I guess they have the number here, and the number is 1-833 888-0237. Let me try calling that up. All right, 1-833 888
888.
888 0237. All right, let's call it up.
That's bullshit.
You must.
I
Hold on.
must have.
Overlook Hotel's reservation line. Someone will be with you shortly.
Can we actually talk to someone? I wonder if you can actually.
Book our world-famous gold ballroom for your next wedding, bar mitzvah, or special event. We can accommodate up to 300 people comfortably. Please stay on the line. Someone will be with you shortly.
So I wonder if he just keeps saying that and they just explain a bunch of maybe different scenes from the movie, which would be pretty cool. There was the gold ballroom right there. That's a pretty infamous scene.
Feeling overworked? Come play with us in the world-famous Colorado room. You'll never want to leave.
The Colorado room.
Yeah, I guess I put it in wrong.
Yeah,
Damn, dude.
the Colorado room. So we got the gold ballroom and the Colorado room so far.
Our season begins May 15th. Make your reservation now. Please stay on the line. Someone will be with you shortly.
That's another Easter egg, right? Because wasn't he there for the winter and they didn't open back until the springtime? So from spring to summer, or from spring to fall, and then they close all winter.
Mm-hmm.
And he was guarding there until May
Room
15th.
service is available 24 hours a day at the Overlook Hotel. Enjoy delicious home-style meals like rib roast, hamburgers, turkey, pork roast, lamb, french fries and ketchup, canned fruits and vegetables, canned fish and meats, hot and cold cereals, Post Toasties, cornflakes, sugar puffs, Rice Krispies, oatmeal, Wheatina, cream of wheat, black molasses, dried milk, bags
Black
of sugar,
molasses?
ice cream, dried peaches, dried apricots, dried raisins, or dried prunes.
So yeah,
Someone will be with you shortly to take your order.
a lot of those foods were, if you can actually see them when they're in the pantry.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of the famous foods in the pantry. That's pretty cool. I'm liking this so far. Hopefully we get a little more Easter eggs. Let's see what else they have. How long this call can go. This has already
Built
been...
in 1907, the historic Overlook Hotel is probably the most gorgeous hotel you've ever seen. Come stay with us forever and ever and ever.
Oh,
That's from the twins, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Come play with us, Danny, forever and ever and ever. I'm liking this so far. So we both know that this
Our
hotel...
world-class concierge is a little man who lives in your mouth, and he can't wait to meet you. Please stay on the line.
Little man that lives in your mouth. What is that referencing?
I have no idea. I don't remember that.
So I know we're taking up most of the time on the
Go
podcast.
inside the movies at academymuseum.org. Please stay on the line.
academymuseum.org. I want to say that was probably the end of it, maybe. I'm going to stay on the line for a little bit longer and see. See if it just goes on
I think
repeat.
it just looped.
Welcome to the historic Overlook Hotel's reservation line. Someone will be with you
Yep.
shortly.
So that was pretty cool. You know, I liked how they set up a number and everything. And that's cool. It says that will be open in 2019. We still got some time. I'm hoping they rebuild each set so you can walk through the Overlook Hotel in a way.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. I mean, I would love that. And I knowing them, they'll make a shit ton of money off this because there's a lot of Shining fans out there and stuff like that. So I mean, I just thought that whole experience though, just us calling it right now was pretty cool because I mean, you actually got to feel like you were calling for the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off at myself because I thought I put in the right number and I even stared at it.
You know what? And that's when you told me like it didn't work, I was like, well, bloody disgusting. They said here's the number, so
I guess I'm dumb.
But yeah, that's cool. So, I just thought that for them advertising that's going to be at the Academy Award Museum, that's going to be cool. That's going to be in Hollywood. I actually tweeted out, or TLAV tweeted out that they about this, and I was like, oh, we got to meet up and go to this. This should be pretty cool. So yeah, stay tuned for next year because we definitely are going to go to that. Mm-hmm. I can make that a promise right now. We're definitely going to go and check that out. Film a little vlog there. That'd be a cool little horror vlog to film. We're moving on now from The Shining. Ash vs. Evil Dead ratings are declining.
That's bullshit.
This makes me a little mad. I watch every week, whether I record it or just watch it live. I watch it. I don't like the fact that ratings are declining. They said they wanted to do a season 4. I don't think it's gotten renewed for a season 4 yet. Mm-hmm. But if ratings keep declining, they're just going to cancel it.
Yeah, I mean, we even talked about this, how if they cancel, they're just going to make a movie.
Yeah, and we've brought up the fact that are they going to bring the characters with them and stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. I'm liking this season so far. I'm liking it a lot. It's funny. The fact that Ash is trying to grow a relationship with his daughter is great to me. He keeps calling her, in the first episode, he called her like 3 different names, like Sandy, Mandy, and her name's like Brandy and something like that. And I just thought that was funny. And just seeing Ash trying to actually become a dad now, and on top of that, he's fighting evil at the same time, just for me, is hilarious. So,
yeah.
Hopes that they don't cancel it, because we had a big old thing on Bruce Campbell last week that we love the guy, and he's fucking funny and badass. So, hey, you got a horror movie death for us this week?
Yes, I do. This is kind of debatable of whether or not it's a horror movie. It's called Death Proof. It's
like a horror thriller action movie.
There's a scene in there where Kurt Russell's stuntman Mike is he has like a death proof car, so like meaning that like he can't die if he gets in car crashes, and or like because he's a stuntman, and he just likes killing people. And there's a group of girls in a car going down a highway, just kind of like singing along, and he finds him, and he basically makes him his next target.
There's 3. Is there 4 of them? She gets the tires. Oh, that's classic. And they got that thing scream. Yeah, that's brutal, man. I love that scene. That's a good scene. That was a good death this week. And I love the fact that it's a grindhouse style film, the way they filmed it and stuff. And I love how we got a shot of each of the deaths in the movie one by one, like they showed each person one by one.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, dude, solid kill this week. Good one. Moving on, topic number 5. So we've been waiting for this one for a while. They're going to do a supernatural Scooby Doo crossover, and it's happening this week.
Yeah, I remember them announcing it. I think maybe it was Comic-Con or something.
Yeah,
like
way
that.
Back when. And a lot of fans been asking for this because, well, Scooby Doo, as you know, they're like the family-friendly supernatural where they go and hunt ghosts and monsters and ghouls and all that. And Supernatural, of course, is the teen adult version of Scooby-Doo where it's more real-life situation kind of based. And so for a while now, fans been wanting them to, like, well, let's get a crossover of the two. It'd be funny, you know? They came out with a trailer, or a little teaser for the episode. I think it premieres this week or sometime pretty soon this month. I know that for a fact. The whole episode, except for, like, the beginning, maybe the ending, is going to be animated. So that's going to be pretty cool. One of the things I want to highlight in the trailer, I'm not going to give away too much because I know you don't want to hear too much, but one of the things I found funny in the trailer is when Dean sees Daphne and he goes, he looks at Sam and goes, "Dibs on Daphne," and then so yeah, they see him dancing in the club and stuff. So it should be funny. I have not caught up with Supernatural. I gotta wait.
Yeah, I'm on. We've watched. I think
for me, I think I was like 5 or 6 episodes in this season.
Okay, I was like 4.
Yeah, so I think honestly, and that goes the same with all the, because I haven't watched really a lot of the superhero shows this season.
The CW shows.
Yeah, so I'll probably just wait for them to go on Netflix and then binge them.
Yeah, I feel like that too, which kind of makes me sad in a way because I used to always like
week after week.
Yeah, I would like it would suck.
And you know what? It's not even that now. It's just I think with me too, it's like my job. Because I work nights from like 3 to 11:30, so it's just like when I come home, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to go sit in the front room and turn on TV and then turn it off and then go into my room. It's just like I when I come home, I either want to do one or two things: I read or watch a movie, and I go to bed. So I'll probably get back into it next season. Maybe I'll try to keep up with it as best as possible. There's just so many shows on now that it's hard to keep track with everything though. It's like I watch, of course, the 2 things I gotta watch every week is Walking Dead and Ash vs. Evil Dead because I like to keep up on those, especially with Walking Dead because I don't like looking at spoilers and stuff. But moving on, Blumhouse. So they just picked up a home invasion style movie during an alien invasion, and the project is titled The Invasion.
Cloverfield 5?
Yeah, everything's Cloverfield now these days, you know that? But I just found that it was interesting that it's going to be a home invasion during an alien invasion. So, like, is it going to set up like they're planning a home invasion, they do the home invasion, then out of nowhere aliens come and attack? And
yeah, that's good. That has to suck having to team up with someone that's invading your home to fight aliens.
I don't know, dude. I mean, it sounds like an interesting... like I said, Blumhouse has just been on a roll lately. I would say Blumhouse right now, in this day, modern age, is the #1 horror movie kind of... Company, as of right now. As of this day and age, I would say they're the #1. But I just feel that this concept just sounds interesting to me. Like...
Yeah, it's interesting.
It'd be like The Purge, except you're fighting aliens and you got to team up with the people who are trying to rob you.
Yeah, I want to, and I always like makeup and special effects, so I would like to see what the aliens look like.
And especially with Blumhouse too, because you know how they do Insidious, all the demons and stuff look cool and stuff. So only time will tell with that movie. I think they just announced that and they just picked up the rights for that. So time will tell. I don't know. They're gonna start casting and then everything. So we'll see. All right, guys. So we're gonna do This Week on Crypt TV. This one was kind of a hard one this week because. Simply because we just couldn't decide of which one to choose. But we finally came down after watching the 3 videos this week, and we chose Do Not. Now, with Do Not, it was an interesting concept. The guy is kind of like one of those rebel bad boys where he just kind of like, he sees like one of those Do Not signs, and he does exactly what it says. In the beginning, you see a sign that says, Do Not Smoke. And he smokes right in that area. Then there's another sign that says, "Do not walk on the grass." He walks on the grass. Another sign as he's driving that says, "Do not enter," and he enters. And then he's taking a pill and it says, "Do not drink this with alcohol," and he drinks it with alcohol. And then he turns on his TV and he's flipping around the channels, and then his TV gets stuck on a channel that says, "Do not watch." And ultimately it starts leading down kind of a path of almost like his own personal hell, I would say. And then he gets a phone call from the guy on TV who we find out is hooked in. He's got hooks through his skin, like he's being controlled by like a puppet. And the phone says, "Do not answer," and then the number is 666-666-6666. We all know that's obviously the devil's number. So he answers the call, and the guy on the TV just yells, "Do not scream, do not scream, do not scream." Then we see our first glimpse of the demon, devil-looking character, and then it disappears. And then the hooks get nailed off of the guy, and ultimately the guy just dies with a pile of blood. He's got the skin hanging from the hooks and stuff. And then we hear a knock on the door, and the guy goes towards it, and then we see hooks start falling down, and then ultimately see the demon or the devil, and then the skit ends. Going into this, I didn't know, I just figured Do Not. There's going to be Do Not everything, and You just, we were gonna see this guy like disobey all the rules and stuff. But coming out of it, I got a theory that as he turned on that TV, after he took that pill with the alcohol, we were talking about this in the video that you can die.
Yeah, you can. I don't know what pill he was taking.
But if it suggests not to take it with alcohol, that's...
Yeah, he could be like just tripping balls or something.
He could be on a bad trip, or he's already dead and this is hell, know? And so those are the two theories that we have over this video. It's a very good, well put together video.
Yeah, especially they show like a demon at the end, and he has like you can see like his legs are like goat legs and everything.
Yeah. And that kind of reminded me of in the music video for Number of the Beast, where you see the devil for a little bit. Kind of reminded me of that devil with red eyes. But yeah, the makeup was good on this and everything and stuff. So thanks Crib TV for the free horror that we get to watch each and every week. We appreciate you putting out those videos for us to enjoy. And yeah, so now we're gonna move on to our subtopics. These are topics that didn't quite make our main slate of topics, but they're still interesting enough to talk about. Number 1, The Strangers director is interested in remaking John Carpenter's Christine.
We've talked about Christine before and how
it's just not. We don't like Christine.
It's not the 90s.
Now, okay, like I always say with this, it's good on paper. It's not good for film.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We both love John Carpenter, but just I don't know. Christine just doesn't seem scary to me. A possessed car, like. Okay, like unless the car can transform into something, then by all means it would probably be a little bit scarier. But if it's just literally a possessed car that can never get destroyed,
yeah, I feel like it'd be a little bit cooler, kind of like because we were talking about The Shining earlier. Like how I wouldn't say because in The Shining, the hotel, was it built on something? It was built on
ancient Indian burial.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
it's like a curse.
Yeah, it's like a curse. Like the car would be cursed, and it like makes people kill other people. That'd be kind of cool. But
yeah,
I'm not too fond of a car.
I don't know. I think the car is cursed. I think like someone died in it or something, and someone's soul remains in it. I don't know. I don't know too much. I didn't really watch the movie, didn't read the book, but I know the basic concept of it. But I don't know which director it is from either this new movie that just came out, The Strangers, which I actually saw today. We'll probably get into that later on. Or the first movie, The Strangers, the first Strangers. So I don't know which one, but he's interested in remaking John Carpenter's Christine. And by all means, don't do it. Next thing we're going to talk about, Eli Roth is starring in a disaster horror film titled The Aftershock. This is on Netflix right now, isn't it?
Is it? I didn't know.
I think, yeah, that was part of the news this week on Bloody Disgusting that they said this is now available on Netflix. And I know Eli Roth just came out with his
Death Wish.
Death Wish, which he directed. I don't know if he's in it, but he directed it. Yeah, so we've seen him do horror movies before. He did Hostel, and that movie is just something else. But we've seen him act before. He's actually a really good actor. I loved him in Glorious Bastards.
Yeah.
He's been in a couple other projects. I can't think of him on the top of my head, but I've seen his face around and stuff like that. But I guess he's in this disaster horror film. I don't know if he's playing the bad guy or if he's playing the hero in the movie. I have to check it out. But anything with Eli Roth, usually I'll probably watch because it's Eli Roth,
Yeah.
So probably check that out pretty soon. Next thing on the list, one of your favorite people in the world, Tommy Wiseau. He is filming, or now I'm kind of confused at this point right now.
Yeah, because we saw a trailer that said
it's the title's Scary Love.
Yeah, we don't know if it's his movie because the trailer's only like 50 seconds, and it looks like the trailer took everything out of the music video called Scary Love by
The
Neighborhood, and yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a movie. I do think that they just used him for the music video.
Unless he's been blowing up lately. So I mean, they probably could have wrote this song for the movie or something. But it's supposed to be like a Blade Runner style sci-fi kind of thing. You guys can go check out the music video and the trailer. They're both out. Just type in Scary Love on YouTube and you'll find it. You'll find the music video, of course, first, and then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the little teaser trailer. But I don't know. I mean, if he comes out with a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, I'll watch it because I watched anything Tommy Wiseau. I watched The Room, for crying out loud, and I know he's coming out with a new movie pretty soon called Best Friends, and I'm probably gonna watch that too. So yeah, anything Tommy Wiseau does, I'll watch because it's so bad that it's so good. But yeah, next thing we're gonna talk about, Friday the 13th game developers. Gunn Media, they teased Project Mealize. So I don't know quite too much about Project Mealize, but being that it's the people who developed
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it has to be something good. I'm about to read you what Bloody Disgusting wrote on their thing. So it says, thanks to the Friday the 13th the game, Gunn Media has our eternal love and respect, and we've just learned today that they've got a mysterious new project on the horizon. The company announced today that it has entered into a publishing agreement with the Blobber Team, developer of the critically acclaimed Layers of Fear franchise. Gunn has acquired worldwide publishing and marketing rights to Blobber Team's next currently untitled game. And this is a statement that they released the other day. We're huge fans of Blobber Team's body of work, and we're a group of horror community. Working with them on their next title is a natural progression for us, said the producer of. This is the senior producer of Gunn Media. Our philosophy has always been about building and publishing works that are full experiences, not just products. Blobber Team shares a similar vision for game development, and we can't wait to show the world what we're working on. So, I guess Blobber Team and Gunn Media expect to announce more information about the game, including title and release date, in the near future.
E3.
Yeah, so they released a video. It's like a little brief teaser, and it's on YouTube. Just type in Project Mealize. And so, yeah. I would say more on the line of E3. And if they're working on something major, it would be cool if it's another serial killer kind of game. Like, Friday the 13th was so good, but the only thing that lacked Friday the 13th for me was no campaign. And I know how a lot of people were like, well, how can you make a campaign with Friday the 13th? Well, it's like easily. You can just kind of make it your own little Friday the 13th, in a way, movie if you wanted to, you know?
Yeah, I think they're actually going to add a campaign.
Yeah, they said they're going to do a little single-player experience. I think either where you play as Jason and you got to, like, kill all the counselors or something. Or you play as a counselor and you got to, like, help out the other counselors to get off the island or something like that. But if Gunn Media releases a new game, I'll probably check it out because I really enjoyed Friday the 13th. I had a little bit of fun with that for when it first came out, that opening month. I haven't played it for a while because there's a lot of games that's been out that I've been playing. But every now and then I'll go back on it and check it out and see what's going on. I'm hoping they do maybe like a Freddy game or like maybe a Halloween game.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I know Dead by Daylight, though. I don't know who the creators of that game are, but I know they have those characters in that game.
Yeah, so that's coming soon. Look forward to that maybe on E3, I would say, you know. Next thing we're going to talk about, did The Walking Dead just set the stage for a huge villain twist? Now, this past episode on The Walking Dead, Simon, who was played by the amazing Stephen Ogg.
Spoilers, too.
Yeah, spoilers. Major spoilers for this season of Walking Dead. But Simon, who's played by the amazing Stephen Ogg, we're starting to see him change. I don't know about heart, but like he's starting not to really agree with Negan's ways. This episode that just passed, him and Negan got in a couple arguments, and there's one scene that was just fucking brutal. This last episode, he killed, or his team, they took all of the garbage people's guns and stuff away, and he just had them all killed.
Nice.
And, except for the girl.
Okay.
The girl was the only one that's still who's the leader of them, but they just shot them all and killed them all. And originally, what was supposed to happen is Negan had told Simon that I need you to go down and give him the standard, deal that we're still good and everything. But I guess they didn't like what they had to offer, so fucking Simon at that moment he just kind of got mad and just had them all killed.
Oh, so it's a thing like Negan's
told him to do one thing, he didn't tell him to kill him.
Okay.
And Simon killed him.
Okay, then they're setting up Negan.
Gonna kill Simon probably.
Well, or again, spoilers for the comics or something like that, because I think Negan's gonna go with Rick, and they're gonna.
Yeah, and that was another thing that they did this last episode. This last episode, they also did a thing where they focused on different points of views of people. So, like in the beginning, like they had a little white title that said Michonne, and then it focused just all on Michonne. Right after the events of what happened to Carl, and then they didn't focus on Rick till like the very end of the episode, but they did Negan, Simon. Who's that one guy that's I think he's gay on the show.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, right? He's a really cool character. I like him a lot. But they did his point of view at one point. They did, I think. They're gonna do Daryl's group. That little group that ran away, they're doing their shit. They just already did it this past episode, or as of this recording, this next episode. But I mean, this episode was a really good episode. Now you're starting to see the war. I mean, Negan kept trying to tell and this is where I think Negan's gonna maybe turn good too, and that's probably who they're also talking about. But they've been showing a lot that Carl had this vision of all of them just having peace and rebuilding the world one by one. Everybody gets together and stuff. And you keep seeing these flashbacks of old man Rick with his beard. His daughter's all grown up. And one of the flashbacks that you see, you think it's just honestly a flashback, but it was Carl's vision the entire time. But one of the flashbacks you see is Negan. He's like gardening and stuff. And then the daughter, Rick's daughter goes up to her and he goes, "Oh, how you doing today, sweetheart?" and everything. And he's being nice to everyone. And you're just like, is this like a foreshadow? Is this real? But then you find out that's all part of Carl's vision. So this last episode, you see Rick telling Negan that Carl's dead. That kind of hurt Negan a lot because actually Negan actually really liked Carl, and he's like that he was gonna change the world, dude. Me and him, I had plans for him and stuff like that. And so you start seeing that Negan, he's starting to get a little bit of a change of heart. He goes, "Rick, you gotta wake up." He goes, like the reason why Carl's dead is your fault. You weren't being a good dad and shit. You weren't. You were gone while he went out and did shit and stuff. So I just like how they're kind of doing that kind of. They're heading towards that way now, and
yeah, so. If they're gonna do the team up that I think they're gonna do, it's gonna be very hard for that, and I don't want them to. I kind of don't want them to because it's gonna be. I mean, it is cool like to see them team up, but. I mean, he killed Glenn and Abraham. Like you can't expect them.
He killed a lot of people.
Hey, let's go, buddy. Let's go fight Simon. Like,
yeah.
No, dude. Like, there's gonna be so much tension.
No, yeah, there already is. I mean,
they can't like fix that in an episode or two.
Right now, they got Daryl is with Dwight. You don't like Dwight. I know you don't like Dwight.
I hate Dwight.
But yeah, the girl who plays Susie, Susie Crabgrass is I don't remember her name, but she wants to kill. Or they want to kill him so bad, but even Daryl wants to kill him so bad, but he goes, "We still need him. He's got info."
And they even tortured Daryl.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, this season so far is getting really good. Sad that you stopped watching it, but
I'm not sad.
It's like last season was something else. This season is just getting good. But yeah, moving on. So there's this new game, a new app out. It's Jurassic World Alive, and it's pretty much a Pokemon Go with dinosaurs.
Jesus.
So I don't know how that works, of how you collect them. I'm pretty sure it's not with Pokeballs, but that's interesting to me because like now you can go around like different places collecting different dinosaurs and stuff like that. I don't know how it works out really. So
I don't like Pokemon. I don't like the Pokemon Go. I didn't like. I had a couple friends that didn't like it either, and they're like, just download the app, and I did not.
I downloaded it. Because Johnny would play it a lot at work, and everybody at my work, when I worked at Knott's, played it a lot, and I was just like, this is boring. I never liked Pokemon to begin with. I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy, and I wasn't even a diehard Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so I mean, I had cards and stuff, but yeah, Jurassic World Alive, I don't know if it's available now. I think it is. They're doing this to promote, of course, Jurassic World 2, The Fallen Kingdom. So, yeah, I might honestly check that out, just real quick to see what it's like. But yeah. So here we go. This one really caught my attention. Upcoming horror film will reunite James Gunn and Elizabeth Banks. Now they were both on Slither, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if he's doing a Slither sequel or if they're gonna do their own original horror movie. Either way, though, it's always good to hear that James Gunn is doing something. Lately, ever since, honestly, not even lying, ever since Guardians, like, I've been following James Gunn a lot. And when he came out with the Belko Experiment, I know he didn't really.
He wrote it.
He only wrote it, yeah, but he didn't direct it or anything. But I still thought the Belko Experiment was a great movie. I really liked it a lot. Actually, I had one of the fans come up to me today, or not like come up, but like he messaged me on Instagram saying, you know, there's this movie. He sent me a footage from the Belko Experiment. It was actually a trailer. He didn't think it was a real thing. And he goes, is this a real movie and stuff? I'm like, yeah, it's really good. Actually, check it out. It's called the Belko Experiment. He goes, yeah, for sure, I will then. And that was cool. So, yeah, I mean, if Elizabeth Banks too is amazing. She was in various movies. Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Pitch Perfect.
The Hunger Games series.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of movies. So she's a very, very talented, very great actress. And if you put the two together, I'm pretty sure they can make it. I mean, did you like Slither? I
love Slither.
I never watched it. Nathan Fillion's in it.
Nathan Fillion's a cop. He's the main character. He's awesome.
Yeah. So that should be pretty cool. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't know when. I don't know where they're at right now in pre-production or anything. So we'll do this. This one caught my attention. I don't really know anything about this show, and I'm gonna probably read it on Blade Discussing. Maybe watch the video right now. But I guess there's an actress on the show or a movie called Ghostland, and she got permanently scared while filming it.
What the?
Yeah, so that's some kind of psychological kind of stuff. Let me pull up the article because I want to know more about this. I mean, how do you get permanently scared filming a horror movie even though you know you're getting paid to do it?
I don't know.
So the director of Marty's is back for more mayhem, this time in Ghostland, opening internationally this month. The footage looks absolutely insane. The vein of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Apparently, it was an equally rough shot. A 20-year-old Canadian actress who was injured while filming Ghostland is suing Incident Productions, claiming an on-set injury is keeping her from booking jobs, writes THR.
Wow.
Taylor Hickson says she was filming an emotionally charged scene in December of 2016 that required her to pound on a glass door. After being directed to pound harder, she claims she asked both a producer and the director if it was safe and was assured it was. During one take, the door shattered and Hickson's head and upper body went through the glass, according to the complaint filed March 1st in Winnipeg. As a result of the incident, the plaintiff badly cut the left side of her face, states the suit. She was rushed to the hospital and received approximately 70 stitches.
Oh.
Yeah. She has since undergone treatment, including laser treatment and silicone treatment. But over 1 year post-incident has been left with permanent scarring on the left side of her face. The injury, it is unknown at this time if any further treatment, including plastic surgery, will reduce the visual appearance of this injury. Hickson claims it's industry protocol that in a scene like this, either safety glass would have to be used or stunt double would have to do it, and the producers failed to ensure her safety on set as the site. She's seeking damages for further loss of income and mental distress, and alleges that she has struggled to find work since the injury.
Wow.
So now I'm kind of seeing why she's scared. She's just scared of doing jobs now because one bad stunt just fucking flipped her, dude.
Yeah.
And I could see that happening because fucking glass is no joke, dude. I had to clean that shit up at work the other day because we had a teacher get her car broken into. Mm-hmm. And there's glass everywhere. And like just picking up shards, dude. That shit's sharp, dude. So, yeah, dude. I could see why she's kind of scared now to just do jobs in general. I mean, I would just say just don't do horror jobs then. Just do comedies from now on, you know? I mean, do like a fucking romantic love comedy then if you're going to be scared. But nonetheless, I mean, shit happens, and I hope she's okay. Hope she gets kind of through like this time. I know stuff like that is kind of traumatizing for her. So, moving on, a new Robert Englund film, The Midnight Man, hitting Blu-ray in June. I know Robert Englund lately's been on a roll. He did one for Netflix. Now he's doing this new movie called The Midnight Man. Trailer is up, I think now, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a sequel to a movie, though. So here we go. The year kicked off with not one, but two brand new Robert Englund starring horror films, including the now streaming on Netflix's Night World. And then there's Travis Zarway's The Midnight Man, now available on VOD rental and headed to Blu-ray. Scream Factory announced today that they'll be releasing both The Midnight Man and Devil's Gate, 2 IFC Midnight titles, on Blu-ray coming June 5th. So yeah, there's trailers for both of them. I guess IFC is behind it, and they're both producing it. The Midnight Gate looks like it has Mr. What's his name in it? From X-Men, Bobby Freeze.
Oh, Iceman?
Iceman, yeah. It looks like he's on the cover of the movie. And
Bobby Drake.
Bobby Drake, yeah. I mean, it looks like him. I don't know. On Devil's Gate, it kind of looks like him.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him, huh?
Yeah, I think
so.
That's not Sean Astin. Sean Astin's Samwise Gamgee.
I mean, from the Blu-ray covers, Devil's Gate looks interesting, and Midnight Man looks pretty weird too. I think I would have to check those out. I mean,
Sean Ashmore. That's his name. I said Ashmore. I'm so sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, those are coming on Blu-ray June 5th, but I think they're on digital now, so you can rent them or buy them of your choice, up to you. But like I said, the Robert Englund's just kind of been on a roll this year. I wouldn't be surprised. He said he's done doing Freddy.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him come back and do it one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't want to do it anymore. I
think maybe because of the makeup process. I don't think he likes that.
But like he was like, yeah, I was happy to give it to I think his name's Jackie Earle Haley, the guy who played Rorschach in Watchmen.
Yeah.
In the newest Nightmare on Elm Street. Not a lot of people liked it, and he said that not a lot of people liked it because like I think a couple months before that release, they released the whole remastered Blu-rays of the originals, and he said I think people didn't like him because they saw the originals and they compared him to the originals, and that's why he thought.
I enjoyed that one, honestly.
I thought it was certainly better than a lot of the Friday or
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Not a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
I mean, this one now they have the more technology, so they can go darker and stuff like that, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is like, okay, you got to stop comparing him to the original. Like, that's exactly how when it was coming out, that's what a lot of people were doing. Like, oh well, it's better than his. It's like, well, dude, he's trying to do his own thing. He wants to get away from that and do his own style of Pennywise, you know.
Yeah, and one thing I thought that was cool is they based Freddy this time off not an actual. Well, I mean they did, but I don't know if it was a particular someone, but they based his makeup off of burn victims, so he looks a lot more like a burn victim compared to like a pizza, because
he's based off of pizza, right?
Yeah,
pepperoni pizza.
Pizza face. Yeah.
I did enjoy that. But yeah, I gotta check out this new Midnight Man movie. It looks pretty interesting. All right, moving on. Far Cry 5. They announced all their DLC, which was interesting to me. And they're gonna include a zombie and alien battleground. What do you think about that?
Is it like campaign or is it gonna be like a battleground like Fortnite and like?
I hope it's a campaign.
I hope it is too, because I hate
battlegrounds.
I hate Fortnite and I hate PUBG.
I haven't really seen anything on those two games, but yeah, I don't know if I would be into them either. But I just kind of found it interesting that Far Cry 5's not even out yet, and they're already announcing their full DLC lineup.
Oh, they do that. It's Ubisoft.
That's Ubisoft. They just do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like Destiny does that for the first 2 expansions.
Look where they are now.
Man, no one plays that no more. Huh?
Nope. The player base dropped. They're pushing out an update so people can come back, but it's too late.
What about the other DLC? Did it not come out yet?
No, probably like a couple months.
Yeah, so I mean, but I guess I'll play the Far Cry 5 stuff. I mean, Far Cry 5 in general just looks good.
Yeah, I really am excited for that game.
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll check it out. I'll probably get the DLC and stuff like that. So this one was cool for me this week. I know you don't watch it, but I watch it. Santa Clarita Diet. They released a season 2 trailer, and it looks fucking just bloody. They just don't even care anymore. They're just going straight up bloody. There's one scene where Drew Barrymore's in the kitchen, and she just killed some guy, and then there's blood everywhere in the kitchen, dude. And they're cleaning it up and stuff. And this season, we're gonna find it out now that she can't control her hunger no more. It's just like she's got to constantly eat somebody, and I cannot wait for this season. I think it comes out, this month or next month. So it's coming out pretty soon. I'll probably watch it. I mean, it was kind of weird when I watched the first season. I walked into it. The only thing I saw was the poster. I never watched a trailer for it or anything.
Yeah.
And the poster interested me because in the poster you see Drew Barrymore and her husband in the show. They're walking with a cooler, but it's got like a hand sticking out and like it's got blood on it. But they're in like a nice ass neighborhood and stuff like that. So that's what really caught my interest. I was like, oh, what's this gonna be about? This should be interesting. So, I'm excited for season 2 because I did like where season 1 left off, where it had a couple of like different things of you're trying to see all the characters. They're trying to fucking live with this, but they don't know how to, And so
yeah.
I really like how they're gonna do it. Moving on. Almost choked there. Emma Roberts to star in a supernatural comedy called Anyas Ghost. Emma Roberts has lately been famous for doing American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Before she was famous, she was a famous Nickelodeon star.
Mm-hmm. She was on Scream Queens too.
Scream Queens as well. So, she's doing a new comedy, a supernatural comedy called Anyas Ghost. And it's, I guess she's supposed to either die or I haven't really read too much on it, but I kind of like Emma Roberts because I've liked her characters in American Horror Story. I think she's only been in like 2 seasons of American Horror Story though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I think she was in Coven and then she was in Cult for a little bit. Then she gets stabbed to death in Cult. It was great. So I'll probably check that out maybe pretty soon. When it comes out, whenever it comes out, I'll probably check it out. 13. This one was pretty funny. I actually watched this. This week a fan made a parody film of Halloween, and it's called He Waits. It's what Michael Myers does on his downtime. Waiting around for Halloween, and it's pretty funny. You see him just do a bunch of stuff. You see him just one of the funniest things I saw in that thing is he just kind of sits there like bored and stuff like that. It's pretty cool though. I mean, I always like it when fans do stuff like that, like fan made stuff. Another fan made, it's not horror, but another fan made thing that I found funny, like when it came out for the first time, like a long ass time ago, was called Chad Vader, who was Darth Vader's cousin. He was a night manager at a grocery store. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, guys, if you guys get a chance to check that out, it's called He Waits. It's supposed to be like a parody documentary of Halloween of what Michael Myers does on his downtime. Moving on, if you guys have Steam, I suggest you go on right now as the Amnesia Collection is on Steam for free for a limited time. Amnesia, that game, I've heard a lot of. It's like a pretty scary game. That's kind of what set the scary game bar, really.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So I'm gonna have to get on the PC and check that out. If the collection is free, can't go wrong with free stuff, I mean, free is always good. So guys, if you want to get the Amnesia Collection, I don't know when the date's gonna be over, but it's on a limited release and it's free right now. So go ahead and get that. Moving on, New Mutants news. Anya Taylor-Joy confirms that there's going to be a new character added to New Mutants. So she's officially confirming that we got a new character, which we kind of already known that we were getting a new character in this movie. But they have not confirmed what character is being added,
Yeah, we think it's Kitty Pryde.
We think it's Kitty Pryde, yeah, and I was suggesting that because they're going to do a Kitty Pryde solo movie where it's supposed to be a horror movie, and this would be a great way to do kind of a setup for that. So one of the statements she came out with this week, she goes, so hopefully, Blade Disgusting put this up, or I think this is part of the statement right here. She goes, so hopefully all these reshoots and adding a new character that will give the fans an all-together satisfactory, wonderful product. So yeah, she did confirm that there will be a new character, and we talked about this the other week. Since them kind of taking a whole year off basically to reshoot the entire movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're ever going to see the original cut of the movie.
I hope. I really want to see it now.
Because the reason why they're reshooting this in the first place, because when they tested it with the audience, it got really good testing, but they felt it wasn't scary enough.
Yeah.
So they want to reshoot it and...
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I wonder if they, make it, well, not too scary, but put too much jump scares and, not a lot of people like it. Do you think they'll release the original cut?
I hope so, because that's what they did with X-Men: The Road Cut.
Yeah.
And we talked about that too, with Days of Futures Past, how that was a completely different movie compared to what we got. And I think them adding a new character automatically just makes another movie, because they got to do rewrites, reshoots, and everything, and practically film a whole... So I would say that this movie is going to cost a lot of money to make then, if they're doing all these fucking reshoots, if they're practically filming a whole new movie. Or unless they do it how they did it with Civil War. I know a lot of the Spider-Man stuff. Like I was watching an interview with Tom Holland. He said the only actor he interacted with in that whole shooting process was Captain America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everything else was green screened.
Oh, I was thinking about like when he was talking to Tony Stark in his apartment, but.
Oh, but that
no,
but
I
like
think
I'm talking about
like,
the battle scene.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get to really act with anyone else. The only person he got to act with was Chris Evans because they have that scene where they talk about like where you from, kid, Brooklyn and all that. So, they could possibly do that with this movie unless they're gonna honestly just reshoot the entire movie. But I don't know if they'll do that. Moving on. So we got some new Halloween news. Jason Blum on Twitter said the first cut of the movie should be done within 6 weeks. So, being that this first cut's gonna come out pretty soon, I wouldn't say it's gonna be a test screening. I would say it's more gonna be like, here's the first cut. What do you want cut out of it now? This is the footage that we have, and this is what we put it together. What else do we need to take out? So, with that being said, are we gonna get maybe a poster and a trailer pretty soon?
Maybe a poster soon. I don't know about trailer again. I think unless they're gonna wait fully for Comic-Con and
Comic-Con. You know, it'd be cool if they did it. What happened? If they did it at Midsummer Scream.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or even
because then we can go to that. And we can fucking
or because a Wizard Con.
Wizard World.
Yeah, that's like 2 weeks. So
we're going to that too.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they release something. There's a lot of rumor that they're gonna be doing some Shazam and some Aquaman stuff
at the Warner Brothers panel. Yeah. I haven't seen any panel for Blumhouse though, so I don't know if they'll do anything there. So we got some major announcements before we get to the YouTube stuff. First major announcement, we just confirmed that we're going to be at Wizard World.
Yeah.
And that was not planned, actually. That wasn't going to be one of the announcements until I just thought about it right now. But yeah, if you guys see us at Wizard World, we'll be more than happy to take a picture, say hi, or just, hang out for a little bit. We'll be at Wizard World on Saturday the 24th of March, right? I think that's the one we're going. So we'll probably be there from like I would say when it opens till maybe not too late because that night we got to do the podcast with. And here's the second major announcement: the podcast, our 10th podcast is coming up, and I can't believe we've done this many podcasts as it is. I'm so happy that we're going to be on our 10th podcast. So we wanted to get guests that the guests that we've had on the podcast, we've loved having them on. And they're more than welcome to come back anytime. But the guests that we're going to have on the 10th podcast are the reason behind this channel that we do. They gave me the inspiration of doing this channel back when I first started it. And I've just kept going ever since. I think I've gotten better at doing what I do now. In the beginning, I was kind of just, not as good, but now I'm better. But if it wasn't for these guys, this channel would probably not exist. And I'm very happy to announce officially that on our 10th episode of the Mindless Horror Podcast, we are having our very special guest, the League of Extraordinary Vloggers. We are going to have Josue, Thomas, and Mystery all on the podcast. That was awesome. I thought we were honestly going to get Josue and Thomas, but Mystery, he's now part of the thing, and I'm so glad we're also getting him too because... And when they did the live streams, like I would always kind of like comment like put Mystery in the videos and stuff like that, and just to joke around. And they gave him his own series, so I'm like I said, I'm super happy to announce that we're gonna have them as guests, not next week, but the week after on the 10th episode of the Mindless Horror Podcast. They're gonna be our very special guests, so look forward to that. And what was my last announcement? I know what my last announcement was. Coming pretty soon, I want to announce it. We talked a little bit about it last week on the podcast with Scott, and it's coming pretty soon. I don't have an official date for it yet, but when I do, I will for sure get back to you. We are going to be starting a new podcast dedicated to just anything nerd related.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that. That's why I wanted to kind of... We talked a little bit about it last week, and I've been talking to Scott, and Scott's down to do it with us, but... you know what? I know we do this podcast that's just dedicated to horror, and sometimes we get off topic of going into that world. I want to do a podcast where we can just talk about that world because we both have a passion for both these worlds of horror and our geek universe. and I want to bring them both out. Now, I don't know if I'll put the Geek podcast on this channel. I'll probably put it on my other channels that I have or something. But when we get that settled, we will let you know all the details. I don't know, like I said, I don't know when we're going to start filming it. Hopefully in the next couple months, but just be on the lookout. But until that time comes, you have this podcast to turn into every week, and we thank everyone for watching. So, quick recap. Me and George are going to be at Wizard World March 24th. And then for our 10th podcast, we're going to have the League of Extraordinary Vloggers come on, and they're going to be our special guests, and we could not be more happy about that because we've got a lot of stuff we want to talk to them about. And then we are starting a new podcast. I've actually got an official name for it, too. It's called the Nerd Fanbase Podcast.
Oh.
And I had done this. You can go on. I'll link the video in the description. But I had done an episode 1 of this podcast on my old gaming channel, and I just never done it again.
Nice.
Like I had filmed a Comic-Con recap one year, and like I guess there was no audio at all. So like
Nice.
I filmed like an hour, and we were reviewing all the trailers and stuff, and there was like no audio whatsoever. So after that first podcast that I did with my buddy Bobby, we just kind of never. I just kind of never did it again. But I want to, now that we have the tools to do it and stuff like that, and we have the resources, I want to get back to doing it again. The style will be similar to Mindless Horror, but just all things geek. So, yeah. Now we're going to move on to our final segment of the show. It's This Week on YouTube. This week on YouTube, we had a couple of our favorite YouTubers put up videos, and we like to give them the recognition they deserve. So this week, we're going to start with Awkward Arsic. He put up an HHN 2018 The Thing trailer maze. Now, this guy, he's been making fan-made maze trailers the last couple weeks for all the leak lineup that came out. And this week, he did The Thing. Honestly, dude, I know you're a fan of The Thing. You should probably watch this because it gets you excited, even though it's fake. But it's just he does such a really good job with all these trailers, so you should check it out. He went to Disneyland. They're having a food and wine festival right now, so he reviewed that, the packages you can get, or all the stuff you can try there. And he did a top 5 HHN scare zones, which was pretty good. I especially liked his number 1. I won't say it here on the podcast. I want you guys to go check it out. But yeah, that's what Awkward Arthur put up this week. Crypt TV put up the Widower. It's a zombie type short horror video that they put up this week. Go check that out. Mannequin, which was pretty good too, and Do Not, which we featured this week on Crypt TV. SoCal Exploring. He did meet every character at Disneyland. So what he did is he went around trying to meet as much characters as he can that were walking around or taking pictures and stuff at Disneyland. And he did the Pixar Fest 2018, which they're going to be doing, I think, just to celebrate. I think they're going to do it, I think, all of spring or maybe all of summer, too. And they're doing it because of Pixar's just been on a roll lately with Coco and stuff. And then they got Incredibles 2 coming out. And I think they didn't do Wreck-It Ralph. That's just Disney Studios. So, yeah. So, go check out SoCal Exploring. That's one of our good friends on the channel. This guy... he just started his channel, actually, and he came and contacted me to saying he wanted to do a collaboration with me. I'm always willing to help a fellow YouTuber out and stuff like that. He's a new YouTuber that I discovered this week, and he puts up a lot of videos. His name is The Bub Zone. And he did the Child's Play 1 through 3 reviews. He reviewed each Child's Play movie on separate videos, so go check those out. They're pretty good. I enjoyed his reviews, even though I've seen the movies. I like to hear what other people say about the movies. HHN 2018 dates announced, and what he did with that is he's kind of going off to I think Orlando already announced their dates and stuff like that, because he covers both, but I think he lives here in Los Angeles, but he covers both. So and then he did another video called HHN Codename Solved, the Terror and the Idols. A lot of people have been breaking that down and stuff like that, so he kind of just said maybe someone solved it already. Zombie Chris, he did the Disney Boardwalk Ample Hills Creamery review. And then TLAV came out with a video actually just today called, it's the series they've been doing, The Weekly Scream. They've changed it from monthly to weekly now. So expect new news every week from Josue, and then we'll probably cover for what he covered more into depth, though. But that's going to be it for the podcast this week, guys. I know the news wasn't as good as a lot of our podcasts were, but we try to get the best news that catches our attention the most. Thanks, guys, for watching the Mindless Horror Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and tune in every week for a new original video on Mondays and the Mindless Horror Podcast on Tuesdays. We are the Knights of Horror. I'm your host, Anthony.
I'm George.
And you have just listened to the Mindless Horror Podcast. Thanks, guys, for watching.